Today I am going to share the easiest way I have found to get victories in Blackout. Hello and welcome. I am Amedio602, and if this is your first time on the channel and you want to improve at Call of Duty, then start now by subscribing and ringing the notification bell so you don't miss out on tips, tricks, and tactics to make you a better player. Before we get started today, I do have one slight confession to make. This is not really my tip to share, but I have been using it throughout Blackout in order to win more games. You see, I used to play a lot of games with a very good player at the beginning of Blackout, and his interest has just sort of tapered off toward the end of the game's life cycle, so I need to give a big shout out to LORD SLEAZY, without whom this video would not have been possible. This is a technique which Grey Fox and I have used on numerous occasions, and we have decided to call it the Sleazy technique, named of course after its creator, LORD SLEAZY. Grey Fox and I used to play lots of games with LORD SLEAZY, and after playing with him several times, we found a pattern emerging from his tactics. I'm not even sure whether he's aware that he was doing the same thing game after game, only he was doing it in different ways. Here is the pattern that would emerge when we played with LORD SLEAZY. First, we would drop into a named area, typically one of the hotter drops. Although you don't have to drop into a hot drop zone, the real thing you have to make sure that you do is that you have enough equipment from your initial looting for the rest of the game, because during what would typically be the looting phase of a battle royale game, you're not actually looting at all. Instead of looting, you're really just hiding out at the edge of the map and waiting for the crowd to thin itself out. Admittedly, this may be a very boring way to win games for some, but it is very consistent, and it does result in a very good win percentage. After the looting phase of the game has ended, you're in the final circles. In those final circles, you play according to other tips, tricks, and tactics to win the game. The Sleazy technique can be summarized in 3 steps. Step 1. Land in a location with plenty of loot for the rest of the game. Wherever you choose to land, by the way, we would usually choose construction, must have adequate weapons for both long and short range engagements, plenty of ammunition, backpacks, armor, and equipment, and preferably consistent spawns for vehicles. After the initial looting phase, step 2 is to get into a vehicle and get to the edge of the map. Ideally, you want to be at the edge of the combat zone to minimize the chances of running into other opponents. When this is not possible and the circle's closing closer to the center of the map, or closer to the end of the game, just stay on the skinniest part of the circle that you can. You want to stay away from the fat part of the circle because there's a greater chance of running into enemies there, especially on the first 2 circles. Once you reach the edge of the map, step 3 is to wait for the other players to kill each other off. And then of course comes the endgame, and if you're looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to improve your endgame skills in Blackout, I suggest you check out my Blackout Tips and Tricks playlist. If you've made it this far into the video, now is a great time to remember to leave a like rating. And if you want to continue to improve at Call of Duty, then start now by subscribing and ringing the notification bell so you don't miss out on my future uploads. As always, thank you very much for watching.